Hello, good evening. Welcome to State of Affairs, and the break is over. It means I'm back in the seat, and it's good to have you here with us this evening. If you've been listening to Nana Akufo-Addo, our leader of the NPP, well, he managed to score President Mahama 2 out of 10 for overall performance. Do you agree with that rating? We'll be discussing that tonight. Also, the 3 ex-police officers of South Africa who've been deported from the country today, we'll be discussing that as well with the national organizer of the NDC and also MP for Ibuakwa South, the Honorable Ata Achia. Do stay with me. My name is Nana Abanamo. In the meantime, let's take a look at some stories for this evening. As I've been telling you, the flag bearer of the opposition NPP, Nana Akufo-Addo, has scored President Mahama 2 over 10 for his performance in office. According to him, Ghana's economy has retrogressed under the Mahama-led administration despite the abundance of resources. Speaking to EIB's Kasapa FM on his 72nd birthday, which is today, happy birthday to him, Nana Akufo-Addo said President Mahama has failed to build on the good foundation laid by his predecessor, former President Kufuor. Nana Akufo-Addo further clarified that he's not desperate for power. However, his desire for the presidency is to get a bigger platform that will give him the opportunity to effect the biggest change that he's yearning for Mother Ghana. He also dismissed claims that he drove a Mercedes-Benz while he studied in the university. According to him, several stories have been told about his childhood by his detractors, which are untrue, with the intent of creating an image that is totally different from his personality. And still granting that interview to Kasapa FM today, Nana Akufo-Addo expressed worry about the country's stack development throughout the period, especially when it took off at the same time with countries such as Malaysia and Korea. Nana Akufo-Addo reiterated that Ghana was far ahead of these countries. However, the country now lags behind, even though it took off with them. In an interview with Kasapa FM at his Nima residency, Nana Akufo-Addo blamed the slow pace of Ghana's development to bad systems and lack of quality leadership. The NPP flag bearer also found allegation that he does not encourage dissenting views in the party, rather disturbing. He was worried that such claims are all part of the anti-Akufo-Addo propaganda targeted at tainting his image. Nana Akufo-Addo, who's also been blamed by some members of the NPP for scheming to remove from office the chairman and general secretary, disclaimed such claims. Nana Akufo-Addo said although the party leadership sought to guard against poor conduct that was inimical to the growth of the NPP, it has largely been tolerant to dissenting views. And as you've been hearing all day, the 3 ex-South African policemen who were invited to Ghana by the opposition NPP have been deported. The trio were invited by the party to train their private security personnel ahead of the 2016 elections. According to EIB sources, the ex-servicemen were put on a South African Airways flight number 210, which departed Accra at 9:26 a.m. to Joburg. The 3, Major Ahmed Sheikh Haziz, retired, 54, Warrant Officer Denver Dwashe, 33, and Captain Jokani, 45, were arrested at the El Capitan Hotel in the central region where they had lodged since arriving in Ghana. They had been facing charges in Ghana over claims that the activities were in breach of the country's laws. A court ruling which granted them bail was flouted by the BNI on Thursday, March 24. The man believed to have invited them, Captain retired Edmund Koda, was also detained in BNI cells until Monday, March 28, when he was released following agitation by members of the New Patriotic Party. Our news coming in a few hours ago indicate that Bank of Ghana Governor Henry Wampa has announced that he will retire this week, cutting short a 4-year term. Dr. Wampa, whose term officially ends on August 5, said he had informed President Mahama of his intention to leave office by the end of the month. The governor added that the decision was partly linked to presidential and parliamentary elections planned for November. He disclosed that one of his 2 deputies, Milson Na or Abdul Nashiru Isaku, was expected to serve as interim central bank governor until the president chose a permanent successor. Dr. Wampa was sworn in as governor of the Bank of Ghana in January 2013, and this story was actually first published by Reuters. All right, so we're taking a short break. We'll come back shortly to talk about Nana Addo's rating of President Mahama in office, 2/10. Imagine if Nana Addo was a lecturer. Also, we'll talk about the deportation of the 3 ex-South African police officers. Do stay with me. All right, you're welcome back to the show. And as we've been telling you today, Nana Akufo-Addo, on his 72nd birthday, granted an interview to EIB's Kasapa FM in Accra today. And on that show, he was asked to rate President Mahama in office, and he gave him 2/10. We'll bring you some quick facts from that interview today. You're welcome back to the show, and we will be expecting all your contributions using the hashtag State of Affairs across all social media networks. If you have any questions for my guest tonight, well, they'll be very ready to take those questions. Let me introduce you to my guest. As I told you earlier, the Honorable Samuel Atachia is Member of Parliament for Ibuakwa South. It's good to have you here with us. For the first time, it's good to see you.
It's my pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. And also Kofi Adams, of course, a familiar face on the show, national organizer of the NDC. Kofi, it's good to have you back in the studio with us this evening. All right. So I would want us to start, first of all, with the deportation of the 3 South Africans, because Honorable Atache has been talking about it. And so at first, I read an interview you granted to one radio station, and you called it dubious and devious. Those were your words.
Yes. Yeah, it's dubious and devious for the simple reason that all these immigration issues, they had them well before they arraigned the individual before a court of competent jurisdiction. So when they put you to your election, do you want the individuals removed from Ghana, or you want them to be prosecuted? If we have the security apparatus confused in the right way of doing things, then we question their motives. Are they the individuals who are interested in feeding the NDC propaganda machinery that these individuals are in Ghana and they are doing something untoward? NPP is trying to engage mercenaries, or all the kinds of, excuse me to say, cock and bull stories they are peddling in the media. So I was a bit surprised that they knew that the individuals have some immigration issues, the South Africans. And if they have immigration issues, all you need to do, invoke the right legislation and get them out of the country. But if you didn't do that, you went to a court of competent jurisdiction, you preferred charges against them, you even said that you wanted them remanded for 14 days. The judge said no. And then they were admitted to bail. You said you won't grant them bail. And they used the immigration angle as a subterfuge to detain them, and they have been deported. So what becomes of the criminal matter that you feverishly put together? It's a huge embarrassment to our country, and also international image might suffer, because this is not how you run the affairs of a country.
And you're saying that you're going to cite the BNI for contempt?
Certainly. Why should we permit an arrangement in which people who are supposed to be the products of the law are not law-respecting and law-abiding? How do we run a country like that? Also, when we've said that we are in a security alert because of these situations in the Ivory Coast. So if the security apparatus are by themselves lawless, then how can they function to protect the sanity and the peace of this country? And I'm of the humble view that when there are 3 arms of government, one arm of government should not be seen to be undermining the other. The judiciary has come out with clear position on the matter. The people have been admitted to bail. They are now in the custody of the registrar of the court. That is where your power ends. Because you knew that after 48 hours, you wouldn't want to keep them, but they kept them beyond 48 hours, and you sent them to court. Why did you send them to court? Because you want to give a false impression that you respect the law. That's why you send them to court. Now, when the court comes out with a decision, you violate the decision of the court with impunity, and now you are hiding behind this immigration subterfuge to say that, the immigration also needed them. So why didn't you say that people who have some modicum of freedom or limited freedom can also report to some other institutions? That people who have been admitted to bail and they call you to be at the police station every 7 o'clock and you go. So insofar as somebody is in prison, is not a factor to say that that is the best way to do investigations, or somebody is out and therefore cannot come to, report to the security apparatus. So I am of the humble view that all that we have seen so far and the heightened tension were ill packaged to feed the NDC propaganda machinery that probably Akufo-Addo is trying to do something untoward.
Because the impression has been created, Kofi, that Nana Addo is a violent man, the NPP is a violent party. Before you even come to address that, why is an institution like the BNI acting as though it is superior to the Constitution?
Thank you, Nana. And good evening to your viewers. Did you say an impression has been created?
Yes.
It's not an impression.
What is it?
It's people who are close to Nana. And Nana himself, his utterances and his action, that suggests that that's a violent person.
Which action?
You want me to give you many examples? I'll give you many examples from his own people, not people from the NDC. Kofi Kumsen. Kofi Kumsen said he cannot sleep should Ghana ever make a mistake to produce a president called Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. That's Kofi Kumsen saying.
What is Kofi Kumsen's judgment, my brother? Kofi
please.
Kumsen constitutes the entire country.
But wait, have
I
finished?
Opinion
have I finished?
No,
when you were speaking, you said
so
so many things.
No,
you said so many things and I kept quiet.
Your evidence is so watery to premise somebody's
Attachia.
integrity on Kofi Kumsen.
Attachia.
Okay,
you said so many things and I kept quiet,
okay,
which are false, and I will come to that. Not only Kofi Kumsen, you have Maswell Kofi Juma, also another NPP person. Indeed, this was somebody who has been made mayor of Kumasi and has been elected as member of parliament on the ticket of MPP before. He said Nana Addo will be a terrible president.
Because he's bitter. Because he is bitter.
No. Because of it. How will he be bitter? How will he be bitter? This was somebody who was a member of parliament then when he was speaking. You have heard persons like Dr. Nyawonya Otamaklu. You've heard persons like Dr. Ureku Brobe. And you heard Nana himself.
But you also know under what circumstances
I'm giving you an example. You heard Nana himself. He said, Etiwa, bibi kakra. What happened in Etiwa?
Hasn't that become a cliche?
Please, no. It's not a cliche.
It's overused.
Etiwa, what happened in Etiwa? Violence was visited on innocent members of NDC party who were going about their activities. And
you haven't seen that scale of violence in your party before?
Please, wait. Let me finish.
Okay.
Violence was visited on NDC members. Instead of getting a leader to either keep quiet or condemn it, if you won't condemn it, keep quiet. Then you organize a meeting of the party people and then you are encouraging them that Etiwa yechirem hone bibi kakra. All die, be die. Then you come back and tell me perception.
He wasn't taken out of context.
What type of context? What happened in Etiwa? Was it not violence that was visited on us? Me, I suffered it. And Itadis also suffered it. Many other persons suffered it. Baba Jamal and Co suffered it. Many of our party persons suffered it. Then you come weeks later, organize your people and tell them, bibi kakra. What did you tell them? That everybody's own is 2-2. And that all die, be die. And you say that it is perception, it is me who is making it up.
So if we gave you examples as well of the violence we have seen at NDC congresses, would it be okay to say the NDC is a violent party, like Ofodia, for instance?
If you want to talk about Congress, incidents that happens at Congress, that one, it cut across political party. And I will not be judging Nana based on incidents of... Indeed, I will not even judge him based on the death of Chairman Adams. I won't judge him on the death of Sadiq in Sawase. I won't judge him on the catalysis and things that went to their party headquarters and the rest. I'm not judging him on that. I'm judging him on things he has said himself and heard eulogizing violence and saying that Bibi Kakra, we taught them something small.
Nanado, who's a freedom fighter,
please,
has been eulogizing violence.
That is what we were made to believe until we started seeing all this. That is what Honorable Atache and Co want us to believe out there, that is what he is. But this was somebody who was caught saying that, hey, look, you taught them something small. What did you teach them? Violence. Are you not encouraging violence? If you are not a violent person yourself, will you be encouraging violence? So it is not perception. It is not somebody that is making it, but it is what he has pushed. Or what
you are creating. What
am I
your
the one who
party
created?
is creating?
Am I the one who created
that image?
Am I the one who created Etiwa? Nanaba, am I the one who created
No, but I was in Etiwa.
Am I the one who said?
I was physically in Etiwa.
You were in Etiwa.
Yes, let me tell you.
Let me finish. Am I the one who said Etiwa will be Kakra? Am I the one who says so? Am I the one who said all that be that? Am I the one who said Obiadi? In Ghana here, when somebody tells you Obiadi, what does the person mean?
I don't know.
You tell me you don't know, but you know what it is.
No, I don't know what it means.
Let me tell you, Nanama, and let me be very honest with you, that Atiwa was a shame to NDC. A huge shame, because they imported. Let me tell you, they imported facts to visit mayhem in our stronghold. And what was worse, let me tell you, I was a sitting member of parliament and have to be protected out of the constituency. Can you imagine it? Because they've imported people to come and cause mayhem. And then he said, whenever people want to visit you with mayhem, you have a right to defend yourself. But just oppose it with the man who went to court for the court to determine the presidential petition. And thereafter, a slim margin of victory for NDC said, no, for the sake of this country and for the peace of this country, we won't go for review. Let President Mahama govern. Wow, we've gotten this short memory that this man has, violent propensities. When this man is democratic through and through, and law respecting through and through. So it is the propaganda that you've been feeding them.
You are not helping.
Oh, Kofi. Why am I not helping Nana?
Listen.
The evidence is speaking for him.
He says they went to court. And he is a lawyer, a very solid lawyer for that matter.
People don't go to court. They take into the bush and they start warfare.
We've seen it in other countries.
That is what it is.
Please. Look, I can tell you that Ghana is not one of those
Which
countries.
Which one do you prefer?
That Nanado cannot visit his
a civilized leader going to court.
Why has the BNI, why did the BNI act with such impunity and arrogance? Why did they feel their office is superior to the Constitution?
I will try to analyze what I know, but I believe that the BNI will be the best to give you a direct answer to this question. But just before I do that, on the issue of going to court that people celebrate, Nana, a lawyer, results is declared. You have some pink sheets that have presiding officers not signing the results, even though party agents signed. Some of it, Nanado won heavily. Others, President Mahama also won. Then you go and collect the ones President Mahama won. Pack them, take them to court, that the court should listen to you and cancel those ones and make you president.
Is that what the case was about?
That was how the case was about.
Oh, goodness.
That's
a poor appreciation of what was in the Supreme Court.
Because you would accept the fact that the MPP had pink sheets, which were not signed by presiding officers, where Nana won heavily and they kept it to themselves. And you said that this is a peaceful man, someone who behaves this way. If he had brought both pink sheets, where he won and lost.
Those who go to court are not peaceful. Is that your logic?
I'm not saying that they are not peaceful.
That's the question I was going to ask you about. What other option was available?
I am saying that there was no other option available for him. So he shouldn't claim that it's because he didn't want violence. That's why he went to court. And I'm saying that when you go to court and you go and collect only pink sheets, that has your opponent showing that he has won, and leave the ones that you won with the same defect, supposed defect, and expecting to be given a positive verdict, then you are dangerous to this country.
That's not what is advocated in the Supreme Court.
Let's talk about that BNI's wanton disregard for the law.
I don't see the BNI disrespecting the law here. But as we've been told clearly, that long before even the BNI decided on the matter they are investigating to take the people to court, the immigration were also doing their own thing. It doesn't mean that one person cannot suffer double jeopardy. Sometimes we have instances where somebody is going through trial for a criminal case, he's also going trial for a civil case. We've had instances like that. And clearly, Alfred Agbesi Woyome's case is one, at least current example that you can talk about, that the person is going through one arm of trial, he's also facing another arm of what? Trial. The security agencies are not stopped from doing what they are supposed to do. And immigration, which is clothed with the laws of this country, is equally not stopped from doing what it is that they want to do. So the person was granted bail. And Lawyer Tachia is here. What did the BNI take to court? Did they include the issues that the immigration was dealing with? No. Was immigration in court? No. Please. Has immigration requested the BNI to keep those persons also for them because they are looking into the matter? Yes. So you cannot.
Is that request valid in the face of an order of bail?
You cannot accuse the BNI for keeping the people in a lawful custody as a result of a request from another legal established institution that guarantee people the right to enter into this country. It is the immigration that guarantees you right to enter into the country. And they reserve a right to revoke your visa or that right to enter and for you to get out.
You see, Kofi, what you don't know, which is a monumental shame to this country, is that you are giving an impression that Ghana is a lawless state.
Why?
Let me explain. You see, when people resort to the court, and he was trying to give a very funny impression that what Akufo-Addo sent to the Supreme Court was wrong. And now I'm even ashamed that when you go to a court, then you are still, a man of violent propensities. I thought you rather say that Akufo-Addo is a law-respecting individual.
I have not said when you go to court, it means you are a lawless
person.
That is when you package only one side. And go to court with the intention of wanting to be declared based on
the Supreme Court.
That was what went on.
This is also one of the skewed attempts to misinterpret what was the Supreme Court. But let me make certain things very clear to you. You see, if the court said that relating to the charges and what you've told us, we will admit them to bail, surrender the accused persons to the registrar of the court and let them complete the bail processes. That is the end of the matter. You can't say, I'll override what the court has said because another state institution is requesting that they be kept for me. What kind of, excuse me, outrageous decision would that be?
Do you work with the state issue? Do you know the discussions that will go
No, but is the law not superior?
What argument are you making?
Is the law not superior?
But who says that the immigration don't have a right to keep people also?
They have a right to keep people. Yes, it's there in the law. I've read the law. I'm not saying that. You listen to me carefully. You made an argument that although there is a bail granted to these three individuals, the immigration made a request to BNI that in the face of that, keep them for me. That's lawlessness.
I am not saying in the face of that. Long before they went to court.
But they are being bail.
No, they are being kept on two terms.
This is untenable because at the end of the day, the people have been admitted to bail. So therefore, you listen to me. If BNI is law respecting, and let me underline it clearly, if BNI is law respecting, the bail processes will be completed. They've been admitted to bail. But there is yet another offense which they've committed. They can be arrested after their temporary release. Right. That is how law is run. It's not this kind of kangaroo arrangement in which you are saying that, they've been admitted to bail, but have a request from immigration and therefore keep them for me. What kind of language is that?
What's the difference? The people
there's no difference
between. Isn't there a clear difference?
No. Nanaba, yes. When you go to court, you are taken to court on an offense. And he's a lawyer. At least we've all been visiting courts and we see what happens. When you request for bail and it's not granted, immediately you get out from the dock. You are put in handcuff again. Is that not what happens?
Yes. But when you are admitted to bail.
But when you are admitted to bail,
yes,
you walk out from the docket and not put in handcuffs immediately.
Yes.
Where the people immediately they got out from
inside
the
court. I was physically present. It was inside the court that they arrested them.
Please, yes, they arrested them at the outskirts getting out of
no,
the court.
No, that was outside inside.
Getting
Were you
out
there
of
physically?
The court. I am saying
Nana
that
Asante Bediatuo was there.
Listen.
Lawyer also for was there.
What I'm telling you is that I'm giving you a narration.
Yes.
That if somebody goes to court and is not admitted to bail, immediately you step out of the door. You are put back.
Yes.
The situation
but he's saying that they didn't step out of the court at all.
In this situation, the people, though they were arrested at the entrance of the court.
Inside.
Oh,
not out.
Were they handcuffed again in the dock?
Were they handcuffed in the dock?
I was
they were not handcuffed
present,
in the dock.
and I had an altercation with them.
They were not handcuffed in the dock. They're in the court.
To issues that you are not aware of.
Were they handcuffed in the dock?
Inside the court.
I am asking you
I'm
not talking about the court. I'm talking about the dock in the
The dock is in the court.
Oh,
you don't
I know,
know.
I accept
so
that.
What
That is a place that when you go to court.
Yes.
When you go to court.
Yeah.
And you are handcuffed to court. You remain in the handcuffs until you are called to go and enter the dock where they free you.
I understand that.
And I'm saying that the people, when they left the dock, they were not immediately arrested.
They were immediately
arrested.
Kofi.
They were arrested in the court. I accept that they were arrested in the court, but not in the dock.
Once they were not arrested in the dock,
it meant that the issue
there was another
of the
issue pending.
Another issue pending.
It doesn't follow at all, my brother.
That is the line of argument that you want
because this is
an
NDC invention
in the first place,
of lawlessness. Let me explain to you that
these mercenaries came in to do
No, that was what I was coming to. The issue that the use of mercenaries and terrorists. If these people have not been proven guilty, and we believe that you are innocent until you're proven guilty, you, together with other communicators, have gone into overdrive, calling them all sorts of names, and you just use one, mercenaries. If they are mercenaries and terrorists, why have you deported them to South Africa? Why didn't you see to the end of this case?
You know, there were some people who were detained in a camp called Guantanamo Bay. Many of them were never tried because they never had evidence to be able to try them. All was based on what?
So you want to do
the same? Please, let me finish.
You want to do the same?
Let me finish. Finally, the government decides that they are collapsing the camp. Through arrangement, state-to-state arrangement. Some of them were brought in here. You have honorable attaches people running helter-skelter and shouting that these people are terrorists, they are this, they are that.
So it is okay for you to call these people mercenaries?
If it is the case that people who have not been found guilty cannot be described as such, then the people who should start withdrawing is Honorable Atachia and his people on the way and manner they have described these Gitmo to, who were never
But if it's not right, why are you doing
I'm saying that I've never said they are not right. So today, I've never said. I'm only giving you a narrative.
Okay,
I'm only giving you a narrative.
But
the truth is
let me tell you why.
Nanaba, my final point on this.
Okay.
You see, the Gitmo too can be described as people who were known to the state and being followed and monitored. And the idea is more of a reformation kind of situation. That the hope is that by the time they leave here, they get reformed. My position is that these three people, Nana Akufo-Addo and his people brought to come and train some persons, are training potential terrorists. Whilst one person is trying to resolve...
Isn't that a ridiculous statement?
It is. And now you have the benefit of the arrest
tomorrow,
of terrorists.
Not too long ago.
And mercenaries. And you let them off?
I have heard MPP leaders admit to the fact that the invisible forces are their security group that protects them. A young lady who works at Kuala was sent to go and deposit money in the bank. She was attacked by some armed robbers, shot at. One of those robbers have been identified as a member of the invisible force. Who knows the type of training that they give them? And now they have grown to become armed robbers. Those that they are training today, who knows why they will grow to become terrorists? That is the making of terrorists. The making of terrorists.
So why aren't you dealing with them? Why aren't you dealing with them?
That one, you can leave it for the security agencies. No. I support the matter of deportation because Ghana don't work in isolation.
Okay, so then they have already trained some people. What are you going to do? They really were training terrorists in this.
It doesn't stop the security agencies from continuing the investigation. It doesn't also mean that because you have taken them physically out of this country, it means that all rights
but
to deal with them
before
is
I go to
lost.
Honorable Atachia, if these people were really training terrorists, why have you let them off the hook?
Who says that they don't have information about those that they have trained? Who
Listen.
says that
No, I'm asking
everything
you a
is-
question. If they
No,
were
what I'm
training
saying is that
terrorists,
who
why
says
have
that
you allowed
everything
them
is
to
over?
go scot-free?
Who told you that everything is over?
Madam,
Wait
But
and see
you've
the story
let
and
them.
food. Immigration have taken a step.
But you've deported them.
That they
What
should
can
be
you do
deported.
again?
They have been deported. It doesn't mean that South Africa is not in isolation. Ghana is not in isolation.
So if they
Madam,
really had
that-
intentions of
I
destabilizing
am
this
telling
country,
you
you've let them off
I
the
am
hook.
telling you that
If
Ghana,
you had any
Ghana
evidence,
is not in isolation. Of course, nobody has said that they were
So you
immediately
invite them
going
later?
To, going to do.
You
No, you
invite
don't
them
need to
back?
invite them. No, what we are saying is that the
Okay.
people they are training, they have the potential. These are potential terrorists tomorrow. Me and you must be afraid of MPP and their way of doing
No,
things.
I'm not
they
afraid.
Are training, oh, you are not afraid that they
No,
are
I'm
training
not afraid of
potential
anything.
terrorists.
No.
Okay, be not afraid.
No.
Go and ask.
Kofi.
Go and ask the Kuala
Nanaba.
robbery victim, that
Nanaba.
lady.
okay, let me go to
Whether
Honorable
in
Atachia.
2012, if we had told her this, she would say that she was afraid or not. But having suffered,
see,
you need to be afraid of
I am
MPP and the people
I'm
they
even
train.
ashamed
Okay, Kofi.
and embarrassed.
Oh, always you
that,
are-
that,
you
that
are
he's
ashamed
putting
and
across such self-defeating arguments. Today, by the grace of God and intelligence, you have terrorists in your hands. This is the time to prove that you don't joke with Ghana and send a signal out there that if you are people of
Who have
like
said they are terrorists? We say they are mercenaries.
whatever,
But
you
you
just
said
use the
they're
word
training
mercenaries.
terrorists.
I'm saying they are training
mercenaries.
potential terrorists,
Oh.
future terrorists,
So, if
who
they're
are
training
they?
potential
future
terrorists, so what are
terrorists,
they?
and future mercenaries.
What does that make them?
Who are
What
they?
does that make them?
Of course, they are endangered society. That's why we have the best way. Look, Nanaba, the best way
let
to
me
defend
finish.
yourself
Okay.
Let me
is
finish.
to evacuate the trouble from your
No,
home.
no.
You must keep
Okay.
the person
No, no,
as
no,
far
no,
as
no,
you
no,
can
no.
away
All
from
right.
yourself.
No.
To be
Listen.
dealt
And that's
with
what
in
you
this
have
country.
done.
That's what
Okay.
we have done.
Fine.
Honorable Atachia, please.
There's no self-respecting country with civilized orientation who arrest mercenaries, real or imagine, and just leave them to go. It tells you that this is a whole melodrama put together by BNI to feed the NDC propaganda machinery that, Akufo-Addo is about to do something untoward. Because
Of course,
it
but
will
he
be
was doing it.
dangerous. Listen
No,
to
but
me
he was
carefully.
doing it.
No, let me clear it for you. You see, it will be extremely dangerous to assert even remotely that in Ghana, when terrorists are arrested, they are merely deported,
Nobody
not
has said
prosecuted.
terrorists.
This is
We
what
said-
you've done.
We said they are mercenaries.
Okay, mercenaries.
Training potential
training
terrorists.
potential
Okay, fine.
terrorists.
Okay.
Training potential
You know,
terrorists.
but you know,
That's even
Like-
more dangerous.
It's more dangerous.
invisible, of course, the invisible forces that they had.
No.
Who knew that some of them will become
Kofi,
armed robbers?
let me make a point. You see,
Who knew that some of them will become armed
let me
robbers? Some
tell you
became armed
why.
robbers.
Let me tell you why
Some
this is
became armed
a
robbers.
very vicious propaganda. Because we know that these individuals who came in here have specialized in VIP protection training, and Microsoft, the big guys of
that's
Microsoft, were in
another-
the realm recently.
another-
These were the same guys
another-
who came to do
another-
their
so
VIP
because of
training
that,
for
they
them.
should
So
misinform-
they are known
They should-
in the realm. They are on the radar
Why?
of the national security. These
Microsoft-
people are. And if you
Microsoft
look into
in
their
crowd
passport,
control.
oh boss, let me make a point. If you look into their passport, their entry and exit into Ghana is so obvious. You know, you don't find
It's not
mercenaries.
obvious.
Oh, please.
It's not obvious.
You don't find mercenaries going the way that we are describing.
Atachia,
They
it's
came
not
into
obvious.
Ghana via Kotoka International Airport. The gadgets they were using for the training. You don't have hand grenades. You don't have AK-47. You do not have bombs. So what are we talking about?
Honorable
And then
Atachia, it's not
they were
obvious.
cleared at the airport
They are-
and duty
they are-
exacted on them and they were
They are-
duly paid.
their entry
So
is
is
not
that the
obvious.
function of mercenaries?
Or
Or this is the imagination of NDC who has run out of ideas in the handling of the economy and therefore they should distract
There-
this
there he
nation
goes-
from looking
there
at
he
the
goes-
problems that we
there
are
he
going
goes
through.
again.
It's a shame to this
Nanaba,
country.
Nanaba.
Because immediately
The
you
truth-
say that in Ghana, when mercenaries are arrested, we just, give them a kiss and then send them back to their home countries. We are promoting impunity. This is not how to run the state. And let me tell you one of the things which is most embarrassing. He said one institution of our security arrangement was looking at immigration and another was looking at the criminality. They never had a synergy. If you wanted the people out of the country, why spend energies, money, and everything, detain them, feed them in the cells, and send them to court? When you had the best option, that these people are a menace to the society.
So let them go.
It's an embarrassment to the
Nanaba. First and foremost, the entry of this Nana 3 or the S.
What is Nana 3?
They were training people for Nanado.
So hence Nana
3. The Nana 3. The Nana 3. Their entry.
The 3 ex-police officers from South Africa.
Their entry, okay, you can say so. Their entry was not obvious. Look, the information they provided the immigration when they were entering, they deceived, they misled the immigration of this country. They told them, for example, that they are going to be putting up in Movenpick. One said, we're going to be putting up in Alisa. They end up finding themselves in Agona Diakwa in the central region and training potential terrorists in the bush.
Okay.
So that is misleading. When you enter a country,
were they training in a bush or in a hotel?
We're told that the boys who saw them realized that they go and train in the bush and then come to the hotel and do all this. So,
it is false.
So 2 people, they informed the police. And then the police moved in. And they had a BNI person also. Then together they went in. That's how they got them arrested. So it is not true that the people disclosed everything. Indeed, they misinformed people where they were going to stay. And that is dangerous, especially when after coming in, you were training persons in various acts, military drills and what have you. So they did not disclose everything as Honorable Atachia wanted us to believe.
Right, so they have been deported, and many think, and I think it's such an anticlimax. Would you agree that this was more or less a propaganda-based expedition?
Not at all. I would not want those persons to continue to spend any time here. It's better to send them back to their country to go and continue their mercenary acts there. Not here.
No, but he's not looking at the international ramifications.
Because I was coming at to the image of Ghana.
Yes.
Of course, this is not the first time persons have been deported. I know people who take US visas, UK visas, board planes, get there, and when they suspect that you are a threat to their security, they don't arrest you.
The security doesn't flout the law.
I'm saying that they don't arrest you. They get you into the next plane to get back from where you are coming from. No. Indeed.
But what are you comparing?
Please. I'm telling you that deportation is not a new thing. It doesn't result
But this is more than just an ordinary deportation.
That's the point.
This is not about
what makes
not
it
having
not an ordinary
permit
deportation?
or a visa or a valid document. This is a special case.
That has happened to many persons. If you go to UK today,
and they be arraigned before a court of competent jurisdiction.
People are collected. And when found to be working without work permits, they are put together.
It's not the same as this case. Especially when these are mercenaries, according to you.
What I'm telling you is that ask yourself, what is the law that backs the immigration or the homeland security, as it is called in some areas?
Let me ask you one question before I go to Honorable Atachia. How would you feel if Ghanaians were treated this way abroad?
If Ghanaians go involved doing things that are lawless.
If Ghanaians were treated this way.
If a Ghanaian is involved in lawlessness, as these people sought to do in this country, to train persons who potentially would be a threat to our country, I wouldn't really.
But you were never able to verify that.
Why? We were not verified that they were training people.
You said we were training terrorists.
I said potential. Use the word potential terrorists.
But what is
just
the proof?
like the one of the invisible persons.
They are even
right
now from a court of law.
Look,
where's the proof?
Is that the invisible forces that are supposed to be security for them, at least one of them have been arrested as an armed robber.
They were them. You see,
of course, the law is dealing with him. And I'm saying that those that have been trained today, who knows what they will also do?
Let me underline the poverty of my brother's argument. You see, anytime you want the prosecution to be the court, then you don't understand the civility of the legal system. These are what we call the theory of the prosecution. And that is why you prove it beyond reasonable doubt. They've run away from the proof. And now I sit in the studio trying to condemn people who have not been heard in the court of law. And to make it worse, they've removed those people from the realm so that the prosecution is collapsed.
Condemning others that have not been prosecuted.
So what is the matter?
So go tell your people.
Why are you trying to say these lawless acts are evidence that these people were mercenaries and they wanted to subvert the constitutional order? And I've told you and I repeat.
Did they disclose?
Let me tell you, whatever it is, when you arrested them and you have all their lies that you claim they've said against them, Why did you let them go?
And
why didn't you prove beyond reasonable doubt in the court of law that indeed Ghana is a country that we will not tolerate mercenaries? But if you treat them with kid gloves,
what did the security say when they went
said, let them go away to their home country?
What did they say?
You have exposed us to shame and ridicule that Ghana is not serious about dealing with people.
What did they say when they went to court?
Into the whole arrangement.
Didn't the security ask that they were continuing with investigation?
Continuing with what?
Didn't they ask for
and that is what
so why have they been deported in the presidency of...
The immigration says that the condition and
the immigration is dictating to BNI. What a shame. Is that what you are telling us?
That's what has happened.
The immigration
That's what, once their visas have been revoked, their visas have been revoked.
No. But if you have
faced in the court,
why revoke their visas?
Have been revoked.
And even when visas are revoked and their passports are with the registrar of the court, they can be prosecuted. Why are you running away from a trial?
Who tells you?
The cheapest thing to do is to send the people away.
Are you saying that the mere
fact
that
they chose the cheap route?
Oh, and it's a shame to Ghana.
The somebody's passport is detained does not mean that the person cannot escape.
Quickly before we go to Nanado's interview today, I want us to talk about that lengthy statement from the Interior Minister last night, which was quite silent on the detention of these three. And he went on and on about the head of Nanado's security team. And I want to read the response from his lawyer to us. I'm sure a lot of us have seen it. The attention of Captain Koda.
But you have not read the substantive, you are reading a response. So how will you...
Well, it has...
you have not read
you will understand. But you know it. You will understand. Has been drawn to a statement. They will understand because we read it to them already. Has been drawn to a statement released in the evening of Monday, that was last night, by the Interior Minister, Prosper Bani, titled Arrest of 3 South African Nationals. In the era where the Mahama government continues to justify the unjustifiable and our security agencies blatantly flout an order of the court, we are not surprised that a minister who is mandated to ensure internal security as well as the maintenance of law and order in the country, would also they are distracting me. Would also join the fray and spew palpable falsehoods in the bid to link the NPP and the Nana Akufo-Addo to violence. And I'm not going to read the entire statement, but I'll pick bits and pieces of it. As a young officer, this was according to last night's statement, as a young officer, Captain Koda had been involved in the AFRC regime. Following accusations of corruption, he was convicted together with a colleague and incarcerated in the Ashford prison. Now, this is the fact that was put out in the statement issued by Nana Santiago. So, yes, Captain Koda was involved in the uprising of the 1979 whatever that brought the AFRC regime into power. He was a member of the pre-trial. It goes on and on and on and on. But he says that he was discharged.
Who discharged him? How was he discharged?
Well, let me read that part to you. The Francois Commission, headed by Appeal Court Judge Justice Francois, was set up to investigate the jailbreak. At the hearings of the commission, Squadron Leader Degbe, the president of the People's Court, admitted that Captain Koda had been acquitted and discharged at the trial on the charges of embezzlement. Captain Koda has never been convicted of corruption, as is being claimed by the Interior Minister. Refer to Francis Francois Commission report, which is available at the Supreme Court's library. Perhaps it is equally unsurprising that a simple check of official records to confirm basic facts is also fraught with incompetence.
This commission was established when? When was its report?
Well, it is in the library, obviously.
But he broke jail before.
And apparently this commission dealt with it.
What I'm saying is that the truth is that he broke jail before this commission.
But he's been walking around for a very long time.
It doesn't matter. That does not mean that the person's past record
because crime doesn't expire.
That has come to the attention of could not be revisited. And so
it's just come to the attention.
That is not the case. That because it has not, we've not acted on when something has happened.
But you knew all this while that the gentleman was head of Nanado Security.
You see, that's why I was telling people that nobody was worried. Everybody knew that. I knew. Everybody knew that Captain Koda was Nanado's head of security. But we believe that people should reform.
Oh.
We believe that people should reform.
So you thought he had reformed?
Only for him to be found being involved in not just one, as per the statement, that he is also linked to the entry of some Serbians.
He said he never met any Serbian. The only Serbian he knows is the former coach of Ghana. That's according to the statement. That he's never met any Serbians.
I am aware.
It's all propaganda.
I am aware.
They assert lies against you and say, prove that it's not true.
I am aware.
What kind of logic
just
is
like
this?
this incident, that persons in the New Patriotic Party who were not happy about the coming in of these Serbians opposed it strongly and made the information available to the agencies. By the time they could get to and deal with them, some went by road through Togo.
So you don't even have proof.
I'm telling you that I'm telling you about what I am aware.
So there were mere speculations.
I am telling you about what I am aware,
okay,
and what I've been told by senior persons in the MPP who were not happy about that Serbian entry and the activities that they came to engage in.
It's false.
And so for that person to have been found, of course, no arrests were made then, as we have been told.
So what is the basis of the Interior Minister's assertion?
Now he's found again of having invited and brought in these persons.
Was the Interior Minister not conjecturing, really?
Why would I say that he's conjecturing? Do I know what he knows?
No, he's
do I know what he knows?
The Interior Minister...
You don't know the information he has?
Yeah, I'm not the Interior Minister.
Okay.
So I'm telling you what
so you
I
become
know.
a conveyor belt.
At my position, I'm not conveying the Interior Minister's position. I'm telling you what I knew even about the Serbians at my position, sitting where I sit. And even this incident, I have read that they are accusing one Musa superior of having been the one who leaked the information about these persons to them. And I believe that we must salute Musa Superior if it's true that he did so, because
let's go to
I'm happy that
Tatiana.
we have some patriots in MPP that are not happy about wrongs that is happening to deal with this.
There are no patriots in MPP who have invented a Serbian story against Koda.
So there's no Serbian
there's no Serbian connection with what's it called? Captain Koda. Captain Koda has never been invited. That look, we were trying to get information from related to Serbians. Never. But let me tell you what is worse for this country. By the submissions my good friend is making. Let's try as much as possible to tell lies against an individual and invite the individual that what I'm saying is the truth, although they know it to be lie, but prove yourself.
That it is not a lie.
I've heard this many times.
That is not how to run a country.
I've heard this
many times. Propaganda has not helped you in any way. You see, let me tell you one of the things that I find very, very sad indeed. The coincidence of what is happening. Captain Koda, a working criminal, liberty to even follow a flag bearer who is competing with the president, and then you leave him to go as you please. You have a whole dossier on Serbian connection
because they thought he had reformed.
Because you thought he had been reformed. Now they have assumed a priestly duty now. That reformation and repentance is good for NDC. And then whatever. And then eventually, don't talk about any past because people have done serious things, but they've come into power. We don't want to go there. But let me tell you what is very serious about what he's saying. Now, this well choreographed propaganda is that let's try as much as possible to connect Koda with this situation and give a semblance that
trying to connect him. The man is connected. The Hafiz or whatever say he was the one who invited them against the stories that is being told by MPP.
Koda's past with the South Africans.
Who is making
so that it will stick? The propaganda should stick.
This is what
but
he
invited.
He invited them. That's what they say.
He invited one of them. No,
there is no evil in protecting yourself. I'm telling you, I want to stress that. If Akufo-Addo would be the most irresponsible person if he didn't protect himself.
The processes of protecting
and what is
yourself.
worse, let me tell you, what is worse? If you got a man who said, I'm training people to help me with VIP protection, so that when he's romancing a crowd, there are guys who are not soldiers, but so somebody's overstretching his hand to hold the man.
But would you agree that the NPP probably erred in inviting these men here?
Well, insofar as there is no menswear and criminality involved, how have they erred?
Because we've heard how security experts have described the decision to bring them in as ridiculous, immature, infantile, all sorts of adjectives.
No, one of them, I don't want to mention his name, is a PhD, and they asked him, where in the law are you prevented from training individuals in understanding.
I know, and he said he couldn't actually situate that.
What kind of shame and embarrassment is it? So if the law is in the head of NDC, so be it. Let them do their propaganda. But what is wrong with that?
The MPP will never.
It is going to come a day that you and I don't know why all of this, you and I will have locks on our shoulders and we'll be jogging. And then NDC will say, we are about to overthrow the constitution.
They won't. Wow.
This is not how you want
it. The NDC won't do that.
You are asking, and I'm telling you that the MPP will never admit to a wrong and apologize.
What wrong is it?
They will always
look.
Which part of the law did they breach?
Here we have a political party.
It's a shame
that its chairman and general secretary alleged that they were abusing process and abusing some funds. They established a committee to look into the matter. We ended up having two reports. Two reports.
You cannot
and then we have a minority report, a majority report, and defending it.
Live with that propaganda.
And you have them getting out there.
A new dimension to the discussion.
As for MPP and defending wrong, is their trading stuff.
Today they brought the name of this country into disrepute.
They will always defend.
Ghana is on record as one of the nations in the world that when you should arrest a mercenary, you let him go.
You brought people. I describe them as mercenaries. I describe them as
It's not just you. We've had mercenaries, terrorists.
What I'm saying is that the security people who arrested them, I don't know how they describe them. But I know that these are mercenaries. These are training potential terrorists. These are my ways.
But they are accused, and you couldn't even prove that they are mercenaries. So why are you still describing them as such?
Was I the one who took them to court?
No.
Was that the one who took them?
You didn't. So why are you bandying such names?
Yes. Because that is what I see.
Which is superior.
That is what
I'm
saying is that
and
that is
to
what
change
I
your
see.
eyeglasses. You
that
are
is
what
I see.
I need new lenses.
It's a threat to this country.
Change your eyeglasses.
Oh, they are a threat.
How?
A group that can import people to come in. Disclose that we are going to be living.
I remember. Was it in 2000? Was it in 2000? Some people were arrested the same way, and it actually turned out that they were actually agents of Sikelele or something.
I'm saying that
in the same fashion. Do you remember in 2000?
This is completely different.
Do you remember?
I am saying that this is completely different. These are people who came into the country, fill a form and said we were going to be living in
fixation, you know. They can't get out of that fixation.
Listen, they fill
if
a form.
They fill a form
saying that we are going to be living in
NDC will not be complete.
To do business.
That's the point.
They find themselves in Agona Duaka, training people in military
not
drills.
Not necessarily, openly. The people who are criminals are doing activities openly.
We are going to live in Movenpick.
No, it is what we are saying.
Only for you to find yourself in the bush in Agona
Duaka,
training people there.
Of course, the training cannot be done in Movenpick.
Training people there.
I mean, what you are saying.
Did they ever live in Movenpick? Did they ever live there?
Did they ever live there?
So you
why not? But when you indicate that you're going to live in A, you've got to live in A.
What if you went to A and they said they don't have space for you?
No, but you have indicated that you have space.
You have booked already.
You indicated that you have space.
So you could say where you want to lodge.
So they lied.
So
what is a lie?
What is a lie?
Because you would have booked in advance.
I mean, why?
Because on the form, you're not asking, you're not being asked, where do you intend to sleep? They said, give your contact address.
Where you are going to stay.
They didn't have space for them. Where's the lie?
I'm saying that they lied.
Is that the first time that you wanted to sleep in a hotel and they didn't give you the space?
Because it's not the first time. It doesn't mean that when somebody has done it, it's correct. Especially
and that is
when you
why,
are involved
even if that's a lie, is that how you will elevate it to a mercenary? I
have elevated it to a mercenary state.
It's a shame.
But you don't have any facts to prove that they are mercenaries.
But he's running contrary to what the prosecution said.
I am not.
What he's saying is not official. It is the NDC
this is my
propaganda machinery
I
running.
am not happy
let me take
with
some
the South
messages.
African training app. Look, when you go to South Africa, their police system is the worst, and I believe that Atachia will admit to that.
Don't go into diplomatic crisis for yourself.
Diplomatic crisis. I'm saying that we have watched international media where simple crowd control, they shoot at them. We have seen that. Haven't you seen that? And so, if you want people really to give
in
training,
the apartheid era,
even recently, mine workers who were demonstrating, have you forgotten? Recently.
So, what are you trying to say about the police?
I am saying that I'm not comfortable that you go and bring those persons there to come and teach you.
But the law is never run on your comfort.
Crowd control. Of course,
what they have done is illegal.
Evidence. If what they have done was right, wouldn't they still be in this country?
Oh, please.
Me and you, because we are doing what is right, we are here.
Oh, no.
Because what they have done is wrong.
All right, let me take some messages here. We'll take a break and talk about Nanado's rating of President Mahama.
We have to rate, Ronaldo himself needs serious rating.
Okay, so SC Nyako says, I still don't understand why these mercenaries, and in quotes, have been deported. What an insult to our conscience. Donald has a message to you, Kofi. I'll read it to you later. Bismarck Archery, please tell Mr. Kofi Adams to keep quiet for the lawyer to make his point. And he adds Abba to it. Anyway, Victoria Entry.
The one who spoke first, I was quiet. The lawyer started the interjection.
Okay. Nuruddin Binda, it is only in Ghana under this government that we say a group of people pose a threat to us and then ask them to go scot-free. And Anasa, Kofi Adams is miseducating neutrals, that is we floating voters that are watching this program. Daniel Osei, pairing Honorable Atachi and Kofi Adams is like pairing Cristiano Ronaldo and Seydou Bansi. I don't really understand this message. Anyway, Francis Nyameche says, why would he think of such? Anyway, I don't understand your message. Well, there are more messages there. Okay. Akosia Brown says, can we rate Nanado's performance as well since he's rating President Mahama? Oh, you're speaking like Kofi Adams right now. Ekuya Jomo says, Nanaba, if these people are really terrorists, why didn't we jail them in this country? Why didn't we prosecute them to the letter?
Did they say they are terrorists?
So why are you calling them mercenaries
I said they
and
are
terrorists?
mercenaries. That's my
Training potential terrorists.
Potential terrorists. They have not, but they could become.
Propaganda.
Like an invisible force member who is their security has become an armed robber.
Takum says that Nanaba, please ask
also.
Mr. Kofi Adams and the NDC communicators to give us a break. If these people are criminals and they claim they have done criminal activities, they should prosecute them and let us be. Okay, Akosia Brown, our security as a nation and the freedom of 3 foreigners, which is more important? The NPP and its lawyers should give us some respect. All right, we're taking a break. When we come back, we'll take the ratings from Nana Akufo-Addo. 2/10 for general performance and 3/10 for the fight against corruption. I mean, 3/10 is not bad. Oh, it's still below average, isn't it? We'll be right.
Himself qualified to even score somebody.
Why not? Oh.
Can he?
Why not?
We'll be right back.
So we'll score.
All right, welcome back. Some more messages here before we go on to the next issue. Yes, I know. Watching State of Affairs on GH1 TV right now. Kofi Adams versus Honorable Atachia. Okay, Grant Ajololo. This well choreographed propaganda to link Captain Koda to the X3 South Africans, ex-officers, is quite extraordinary. Well. William Boy says, so Honorable Atachia knew the legal way to arrest. Did they consider all of these when arresting Chachu Chikata? Kui Pau Ivan says, Honorable Kofi Adams is not winning this argument.
I'm not here to win an argument.
Okay. Evans comes and says, Nana 3 pine. He's having actually a big love. I think Nana 3 is so funny. Kofi Adams is full of mischief sometimes. Anyway, let's talk about Nanado's rating.
You see,
2/10 for general performance.
I'm a teacher.
3/10
I'm a teacher.
for the fight against corruption.
When you conduct an exams, it's not everybody who is allowed to mark a script, because the person may not even be qualified to mark a script. First and foremost, is Nanado actually qualified to mark somebody?
Why not?
Why not?
How can Nanado mark somebody when what he's brought into his own party is full of trouble? It's like you're asking a failure to go and mark somebody, and you think that the person will give the person excellent when even he's succeeding. Ask yourself, genuinely, Honorable Atachia is sitting here. Can you tell me today that the health of a party, that President Kufuor, Albert Eduba handed over to President Kufuor, and then President Kufuor handed over to Nanado, can you tell me that he has improved the fortune of this party, or he has destroyed it to the extent that even deaths is now common? Acid bathing, stabbing, using of cutlasses, and bringing of knives to their meetings.
Were they orchestrated by Nanado?
How do you...
Virtually everything is orchestrated by him. And I'll tell you why. We are told by the General Secretary and Chairman that there was a meeting that they held together with the flag bearer, agreed on a schedule, a timetable to do their things. When they travel out of the jurisdiction, Nana Addo again held another meeting with other executives to do a counter program. That was where the trouble started.
Are you saying our chairman and general secretary are flirting with the NDC?
I am telling you, these are things they said publicly. These are things they said publicly.
They said it in different interviews.
Yes, they granted interviews. Yeah. And so that was where he failed as a leader. That was where it all started from. Leading to deaths.
But this is word against that of,
I'm saying that
of the NPP,
I'm
that
saying
of Nana Addo.
That leading to deaths and all that. Nana Addo is marking somebody.
How many deaths? You say deaths as if they've recorded 10 deaths.
Why? You want us to record 10 before you know that there are deaths?
No, because the death of
is big
Chairman
enough.
Adams, really, which is a very
Chairman
sad
Adams,
incident, was
Sadiq,
not...
Sadiq.
What, did Paul Afoko say anywhere that it was orchestrated by Nana Addo?
Who?
No.
Should he say, can't you link events?
Whose brother is in court?
I say, can't you link events?
How do you link it?
But how do you link this to Nana Addo?
Have you not been told by Paul Afoko that he was written to and that very soon he will disclose, now that he will disclose
letters
him
a while.
Let him disclose it.
Wait, he will disclose.
He
Let's
can't
wait.
blackmail anybody.
That is an internal thing that we are
Or
talking about.
the NDC is managing the information. They will tell him when to release.
But then, Nanaba,
I love that. I love that.
Yes.
What do you expect from Nana Addo? Of course, he himself is failing. So if you ask him to mark, he cannot see.
Where has he failed?
Yeah,
So,
please.
you know you're not addressing the issue.
Here we have
2 over 10.
Here we have someone who comes to address the whole nation and claims that he is giving us the real state of the nation address. Talks about Ridge Hospital, quoting a report allegedly saying that the project has been overpriced by $140 million.
42 actually.
100 yeah, he said $140 million. That's what he said. A report which has long been dealt with and that does not even exist. Nana Addo is still quoting. We are dealing with an ancient person. We are dealing with somebody, yes, of course, who still live in the old. Things that have been corrected and dealt with. That
it's his birthday today, by the way. You should wish him a happy birthday.
You, Honorable Atachia, no. I don't think that you will go and say that Ridge Hospital has been overpriced by $142 or $40 million.
Well,
you won't say that because you are a modern person. You are a modern person. So you won't go and say that because you are a modern person. So if that person comes to mark a president and say 2 over 10, do you believe it? If this person comes to mark and tells you, do you believe it? What you see around you, does it relate with the mark that
he's talking about general performance?
I'm saying that. Does it
he's talking about the economy. Can you give the economy a clean bill of health?
No.
Absolutely no.
You can't.
You can't.
Why?
Oh, is everything all right with the economy? Yes. Yeah. Are you saying everything is... Even the president admits...
Please.
The president himself admits that all is not well.
Admitting that all is not well where we expect to be does not mean that work has not been done to put us where we are. It's like saying that when people are hungry and you do not have food there, but you are farming, you have sown, the crops have flowered, and you know that you surely harvest.
But
yes,
you will die
please, let me. I'm saying that, yes, there is no food. But it doesn't mean that the person who came and witnessed hunger have not done anything to deal with the hunger. President Mahama is taking steps that will restore, that will deal with this economy. Why?
Almost
if you
4
revive,
years.
of course, if it took somebody many years and he could not revive a single sugar factory, how do you expect President Mahama to solve that within 4 years?
Listen.
But President Mahama is working to revive this industry, to reduce import. When that is finally done, me and you, we are going to save money to use it in this country. That is dealing with the economy of the country.
So you think 2 over 10 was not fair?
Of course, how can it be fair?
So
how can it be
what
fair?
would be your rating for President Mahama?
I would rate President Mahama on general performance 8 over 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
on
way
fight,
above average.
Yeah, on
Fight and corruption?
Fight against corruption. Look, this is a president per his commitment that I will not preside over acts of corruption and say that because I'm president, let me use every institution to cover it and deal with it. Only for me to exit.
Yes, we are seeing many acts every day.
Please, only for me to exit before somebody will come and talk about it. I want, even as I sit there, because I know I am not working with angels. Okay. When it happens, I bring it out, we deal with it, and we allow rule of law to happen. Honorable Atachia should cite me any example where an act of corruption has been committed, that the rule of law is not being allowed.
But if the rule of law was not allowed in the past, why haven't you prosecuted the people who were corrupt?
You said
you've been in power for almost 8 years, the NDC. Why haven't you prosecuted
a lot
anybody?
of people have been prosecuted.
Who?
From
the NPP.
From the NPP side. But it's not been successful.
Who are
and
they?
of course,
Why?
per Anas's discovery, one will not know what went wrong. I'm not saying anything.
Oh, this man. Oh, this man. Oh, goodness. He's so intoxicated with propaganda.
Per Anas's discovery.
Okay, let me come to Honorable Atachia. Honorable Atachia, before you go on, let me just say that Gifty Chum Ampofo of the NPP actually managed to poll 89.60%. That's for the elections held today. Frimpong Samuel of GFP, 2.35. Isaac Kwarting of the UFP, 8.5. Total valid votes, 11,197. Rejected votes, 110. Votes cast, 11,307. The total registered voters in the area, over 40,000, I'm sorry. Percentage turnout, 28.22%.
It tells you how unattractive MPP is becoming.
89.9.
I'm not talking about percentage you go. Look at the turnout.
Turnout, 28.2.
In their own area, you couldn't really motivate.
It doesn't follow at all.
It
doesn't understand the dynamics of by-elections.
Look. We have had a by-election.
But we've seen by-elections where turnout has all. Even in the recent one.
Buin, we had a by-election in Buin. The MPP did not participate.
President Mahama before time
let's give him a chance.
I'm just running on
No, give me
the
a chance.
MPP did not participate in Buin by-election. It was, of course, NDC stronghold. The turnout proved that, indeed, the NDC...
That is what you should have said when you didn't want to contest, because you knew you would have lost. So
No.
about profiting from the
it's
debt
not about,
and criminality.
It's not about win or lose.
Okay,
we didn't want to profit from criminality.
Well,
okay.
We didn't want to profit from
Honorable
criminality.
Atachia, the rating.
The rating. You see, sometimes people do not understand what has been the largesse of President Mahama. The government of the NDC is the most over-borrowed government since independence. And when we do a proper value for money analysis, we can find how the monies have been applied. And the sole sourcing that I mentioned has been the vehicle for all manner of corrupt projects. We'll look at
is it an illegality?
Now,
no, Honorable Atacha, is it an illegality?
It is the cheapest way. It is the cheapest way to overprice projects because there are no competitive bidding to compare. But that is your stock in trade.
Have you proven
Most of your major projects are sole sourcing.
Have you proven otherwise?
You see, so it's not the legality of it, but how corruption is rife when it's sole sourcing.
Let him make his point.
Now, when somebody says that this government has done well with the energy, we are informed that the energy was a dimension that they were so blind. They didn't even measure the energy levels of this country. It's like the 5 wise ladies and then the 10, the 10 virgins who wanted to go to, what's it called, the wedding feast. And the wise had kerosene in their lamps and the rest of them, they didn't care about it. I mean, they slept over the energy issues of Ghana. Eventually, we're planning to these power outages for 3 years. We cannot quantify the economic loss. Please, the economic loss of this
government slept over
this
the
mismanagement.
energy issues.
Of course.
Is that what you are saying?
You didn't pay any premium. You didn't pay any premium on energy.
About this.
Energy was not your priority.
I'm really surprised
you wouldn't
about
sit
this.
down for it to be shot into your face. And now you're talking about emergencies.
I am really surprised about it.
Oh, no, it's a shame. For me,
the
that is one area that tells me that,
in energy moves,
my brother, this ambulance government, this ambulance government could not see this. Let me tell you. This ambulance government could not see that the way our energy levels are, we are going to shut down. And they sat down for us to be plunged into power outages for 3 years. And then they pride themselves in the fact that we are the best organized government in bringing emergency supplies to Ghana. At what cost? Then let me take you to the debt quagmire.
The cheapest,
we are so overborrowed.
The cheapest.
That I can assure you that the children in your womb are owing. You understand? And what is happening to this country at the moment? You are not in parliament, but I will tell you what is happening. It's a vicious cycle. We borrow on interest to pay interest on interest. When are we going to get out of this debt quagmire? So when we come to the economy and the general performance, and the state of health.
You agree with the 2 over 10?
Oh, the 2 over 10 is a fair assessment of President Mahama.
No.
Corruption, 3 over 10.
No.
Let me tell you how corruption is rife. Corruption has a psychological dimension, which is that if those at the top can get away with it, then those at the bottom have a field day. Have you seen what happened in this country? That a president who's passed on said, relating to Woyome, do not pay any monies to him. It came out like that. Then there are ministers who defy presidential fiat and pay monies. The ministers are still around. They've not been prosecuted. Immediately, NDC gave themselves away that they can't deal with their own.
Have you heard the
That
ruling?
Is the end of the matter.
Have you heard the ruling of
That's the end of the matter.
Oh, by your former boss,
have you heard,
Chairman
have
Rawlings
you heard,
says
have
you
you
let,
heard,
you let a criminal go scot-free.
I'm telling you that this is what
first
brought
place,
about
in the first
the
place,
impunity
the court
of corruption,
gave a ruling
and they will not be able to
that
fight it
the
unless
court give a
we push
ruling
them
on the
aside.
matter
So you think
of
3 over 10
criminality.
is fair?
And
3 over
it is
10
not
is very
about
fair.
any
Kofi, I
other
didn't
They
take
are
your
not fighting
rating
corruption.
for the fight against corruption for President Mahama.
They are
Before
playing
even
with it.
You take my ratings for, because I did not even comment on it.
The corruption?
Yeah, I've not commented on the corruption.
You have no comments. You're safe to
You see-
admit
you see,
that you
when-
pamper your
Oh, you
ministers.
did. Actually, you commented.
Honorable
You
They are not
pamper
pushing-
your ministers.
Honorable
Kofi,
Atachia, let me tell you that
you
the
pamper your
record we
ministers
have,
when
the
they are
record
caught
we
in
have is
some of
that
these serious matters.
somebody under the MPP,
Okay.
they said that they would not talk about corruption because it will destroy their government. President Mahama says no.
Oh, goodness.
I will not wait for another government.
But if they
to
were
come,
so corrupt,
and
why
then
haven't you
I will-
prosecuted anybody?
They don't have
Jailed
any
them?
evidence.
They
They
been
were not
prosecuting
successful.
people.
All right,
but then
let's
you don't-
take
you
our
don't
countdown
get-
now to the
you don't get
elections by
successful.
beneficence.
I think people are not understanding, but it's this is the first time it has come up. This has popped up again because ethnicity and regionalism are kind of different. John Mama is a Gunja. Cucumbers and Gunjas are always at one in the northern region. So you wouldn't expect that a Cucumber will vote for John Mahama per se. It is more of the Cucumbers feeling that, for some time, this is the first time that someone from the northern region is being voted for as president. In fact, for those who are 40 years, 42 years and below, they don't remember that the 1981 coup which removed a president, that president was the late Dr. Hilary Liman from Upper West region. So in the run-up to 2012, people started feeling, there's one of us who wants to be president. And with almost 80% below 40 years, as at the 2010 census, 20 million of them below 40. Majority of those who've been voting MPP felt that, let us vote for one of us to become president. And that is how regionalism pop up. And that is something that is likely to continue. If you're a regular viewer of this slot countdown, you'd have realized that we've done something on regionalism, yes. But people were finding it hard to come to terms. That is why, from the feedback that we get, we are here to serve you and rely on your feedback to enable us broaden everybody's knowledge. I'm still learning, and I'm learning from your Feedback because I've written 5 election books. There are times that I make some assumptions that everybody should understand what I'm saying. That is why it's important that your feedback comes to us for us to readjust. In 2012, President Mahama won in 164 constituencies. It is rare. The NDC candidates won in 147 constituencies. President Mahama won in 164. And it tells you that, look, people voted for President Mahama and then went on and voted for the parliamentary candidates. And you see that we said that quite a number of those who are from the 3 northern regions, they live down south, their percentage is quite high. In Brownsville region, 38.8% of people in Brownsville region are from the 4 main ethnic groups in the north. Ashanti region is 18.1, Western 11.1, and Greater Accra 8.8. You will see that in Greater Accra, for example, President Mahama won in 25 constituencies, whilst his parliamentary candidates won in 20. So you see the 5 regions extra. In Brown Halfo, President Mahama won in 18 constituencies, 2 more than his party's 16 members of parliament. And the Ashanti region, which is the MPP's podcast stronghold, and his parliamentary candidates won in 4, but President Mahama won in 5, 1 more.
This is former President J.J. Rawlings, and you're watching State of Affairs on GH1.
Alright, welcome back to State of Affairs, and I can see my timeline on Twitter flooded with a lot of messages. Wachi Yadom says he enjoys listening to you, Kofi Adams, because you speak in such a funny way. Sometimes he even forgets about what you're talking about. William Boy says, remember Captain Koda jailbreak and went into exile. Why wasn't he arrested all that while? Wow, Kofi Adams would have given me 98% in a course that I had 16% in justifiably. Kofi Adams should just admit Nanado was even generous with a 2/10. Vera Adom says, I would have given President Mahama 0/10 if I were Nana Akufo-Addo. Donald comes back to say that the people in the NDC are clearly afraid of Nanado. They get terrified when Nana speaks. Stephen Nesty says, I would have given President Mahama -1/10. Nanado was too generous. I think it's because it's his birthday. Listowell says, tell Mr. Adams that he's not teaching us anything new. He should stop the propaganda. This is total disgrace to Ghana and the youth. Many thanks for this post-Easter treats. Keep up with the good work. Well, it goes on. Leo Apple Mark says, Nanaba, I really enjoyed honorable attachment this evening. Please tell Kofi Adams to learn a thing or two from him. Propaganda doesn't work. Kofi, why does everyone think you're doing propaganda?
I mean, these are MPP people sending text messages.
How do you know? I mean, they don't have NPP attached to them.
But when you read it, can't you see?
But why on the
You need to see this clearly. You have done these things over the years, so you should know. When you are reading a text from MPP, you should know. When you are reading from NDC, you should know.
So
when you are reading from a neutral, you should know.
So
don't be worried about MPP text messages, possibly emanating from their headquarters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Is Dr. Wampa being pushed out of office?
I don't think so. Doctor, I think he has.
Or he concedes that he hasn't managed our economy properly.
No, he is supposed to have been going on his accumulated leave pending his retirement. So maybe he decided, considering all the things that are happening.
Because he couldn't curb inflation.
Oh,
the foreign exchange regime was a mess. If you deposited cash in your account and want to take it back, you couldn't. Oh, it was just a terrible state of affairs.
Had their challenges. But we cannot situate all those challenges just on
and he had
the
government.
Let's appreciate the fact that
the president said his management of the situation in the what's it called
the microfinance
was not properly done. And he said on the House floor to the whole nation, the State of the Nation address. And I thought that was the end of the matter for him.
Yeah, I agree that.
The president passed a vote of no confidence in him.
I agree that there were challenges. But then we must not isolate Ghana. Let's look at what is happening even around the world. let's go to UK and see. Recently, I'm told that the United States Reserve, one of their supposedly, have also done all kinds of things that in order to save their situation. So there are challenges.
Okay.
Wampa did his best, and I believe that he's going. We will see what it is that he has done long after he is left. That is where we'll be able to see whether he did well or
I'll give the final word to Honorable
well.
Atachi. I almost called you Dr. Atachi.
Yes, I think President Mahama has been given a lot of opportunities. To whom much is given, much
are we
is
dealing
expected.
with Wampa or we are
And then we asking that
president? I thought you wanted us to wind up.
Come November
Wampa.
7th,
He's still going back
Ghanaians
on President
will boot him
Mahama.
out. Yes.
You see,
and
Nanado,
relating to
if that is what you want, let me tell you. No, before you
let me make it, but you
Yes,
have
yes,
over 2
yes.
minutes to speak.
No,
Yes,
you
I'm not
No,
surprised.
it's time. It's already
sum up.
8:30.
I'm not
We have
surprised that
defeated Nanado
Oh, please,
2008,
please, please,
2012. Why are we afraid of him in 2016?
Well,
Somebody you have defeated by 2 different candidates.
Did you defeat
Why
him?
should you be afraid?
Okay.
Right.
He's been defeated.
All right.
And-
Your final word.
And my final word is that Ghana should have a modicum of civility. What has happened relating to the South Africans being sent to court and later deported speaks ill of this country. As if we are joking. Anytime you give away your justice delivery system as something of no consequence, it doesn't even engender
Right, so
investment.
the justice division say they cannot deport them.
No, justice
Is that why he says that
the
you cannot
justice
deport
that
them?
they are admitted to bail.
That you cannot, so
You
because of
extend
that,
my
you cannot
way
deport
and the
them.
rest
Thank
of
you
it.
very much.
That you cannot deport
Honorable
them?
Samuel Atachia, Member of Parliament for Buakwa South, and also Kofi Adams, who is the national organizer of the NDC. Thank you very much for your time this evening.
have
And thank you
with a
very
big
much
face.
for sending us all your
You-
messages. We'll see you
now
same time
command them.
tomorrow. Do tune in. We'll see you tomorrow.